It's telling me we're live. Good evening, Jen. And the others sitting in the background there. On, was it exactly a week before Christmas Eve, isn't it? Mrs. W will be back in a minute. Get a drink. We've got audio. Well, yeah, a week before Christmas. How many can honestly say they're ready? Or more to the point, how many can say they're ready for what we're going to have to endure over Christmas? I mean, there's so much. Good evening, Marines. So much scaremongering going on. Some of it isn't what it seems to be, believe me. And things are getting darker with recent events in Australia. I'll get onto that in a bit. I've got a little bit to say on that. But yeah, the scaremongering, the propaganda, it's absolutely relentless now. Yeah, it's getting to the levels, I mean, everywhere on social media, mainstream media, going back to COVID times, you know. Wear your masks, get your jab. The NHS in meltdown. And now we got the added one, which I'll get into. Are we ready for war? You know, send your kids to the front. Well, for a start, there's so many tests that those blue masks never did a thing during COVID. Evening, Moo. He even says, I've seen pictures of the boxes where it says it don't stop viruses. Yeah, it's absolutely a joke, Jen. I mean, I used to follow a lot of stuff in there, especially Parliament. But you watching that, even watching it live, it's just an absolute pantomime. It's
real light.
There she is. Look, I told you she wouldn't be long. But I mean, you know, right through COVID, I didn't wear a mask. You know, to protect me from the deadly virus. Never put one on. I'm still here. Same as millions of others that didn't.
I think most of us in this group.
Yeah. I made an informed decision not to take a jab of any type. And guess what? I'm still here, just like loads of others. And we've got the added bonus that we're free from many of the problems that those took an intervention have had and are having and will continue to have. You know, don't forget there are those that still trust in the now proven false modelling and science and keep taking the shit. But there you go. If you want to follow the propaganda, you suffer the consequences. Good evening, Adrian. You know, and people my age and some a little bit younger will know a flu outbreak is nothing. We've had it for many, many years. The strength goes up and down. 1 year it'll be a bad outbreak. Yes, the later ones that we've been having now maybe combined with something else or something somebody took have been particularly bad. But yeah, we've been having them for years and we survived. Yeah, like I said last week, how many of those in hospital with the flu now actually took an intervention? That's one of them mythical figures, like the reporting of the race of sex offenders and shit. We will find out one day, just like we did about everything around COVID. But then you got the warmongers trying to destroy Christmas for us. We must be ready to go to war with Russia. I mean, the only reason we're involved there is because they can't keep their fucking noses out of other people's businesses. But now they're saying we must be ready. Send our sons and daughters to the front. You know my answer to that, don't you? But Putin was right with what he said the other day. All they're doing is spreading lies and hysteria to suit their own needs. He was right about they can't even stop the invasion with little rubber boats, as he put it. We can't stop the rapes and murders of our kids and our women folk. And he particularly made a point of saying that the British hate their leader. Well, I couldn't have put that better my fucking self, to be honest. And personally, comrade, I don't think anybody will fight for you, to be honest. You know, you facilitated an invading army, providing safe passage. Once they get here, you house them in nice warm beds, feed them. When they rape and pillage, yeah, they get the protection of the police and the justice system. And then you lock people up for speaking the truth about them. And you'd expect people in this country to fight for you? You're more deluded than I fucking thought. You know, the British people are fighting against you. They'll never fight for you, you bellend. But I believe that story that the Ministry of Defence come out with is just smoke and mirrors, to be honest. Putin's got no interest in us. He's got an interest in the EU, but we as a country aren't a threat to him, a direct threat. Yeah, no, I mean, I did make some notes about that earlier. I'll get to it. I mean, they keep saying there's no money to pay this, no money to pay that, no money to give the doctors a pay rise. Well, I've got a solution for that. I'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, he can give 600 million away to the Ukraine again. I think it was 10 million for India to back up their borders against Pakistan, or the other way around. I can never remember which one he's backing there. I don't think he fucking knows. But when it comes to keeping other countries' borders safe, they're quite happily to splurge out the money. When it comes to keeping ours safe, oh no. You know, and we're a country surrounded by waters. It should be a piece of piss to keep our country safe. But not with the government we've got, and I will say not with the government we had either. You know, Labour are well worse. But we're obviously going to say a bit about the situation in Australia. You know, we know that prick Albanese and his predecessor let a load of immigrants in. And they're now reaping the rewards of it, aren't they? You know, we see the religion of peace showing just how peaceful it is. Our Russian grenade Blackpool. Yeah. Well, we've got nothing left to fight with, Moo. You know, they've given all our fucking weapons to the Ukraine. The army's at its lowest ebb, and probably the lowest number of men. The Navy have got nice submarines and nobody to crew them. Half the British Army fucking armour's up for sale, as are the ships of the Navy. And the Air Force apparently haven't got pilots to put in the planes. So how the fuck he proposes to make us ready for war, I don't know. But yeah, getting back to the religion of peace, showing just how peaceful they are, murdering innocent people. I'm not going to go into the details of what happened. Everybody's seen the videos. Everybody's seen the reports on it. There are a few anonymously. How do you say that word? Anomaly. That's it. In some of the videos, so people are saying, but they can all be explained. Or all the ones I've seen could anyway. But, this is a worldwide infestation of this shit, of radical Islam. And over the years, the Western countries have just turned a fucking blind eye to it. And in some cases, helping it happen. And now they realise that they've lost control of it. And they don't know how to handle it. The EU's in free fall. You don't see it in the mainstream over here, but, daily riots, protests, France, Spain, Germany, and not just the sort of peaceful protests you see here from the patriots. These guys are destroying the place. And the EU just keeps on feeding money. I mean, there are countries that are turning their backs on the EU now. There's can't remember who it was today. There's another country that has said go basically stuff yourself on the new immigration rules and refusing to pay fines. And there are a few that are looking into leaving the EU. Well, believe me, that's not as easy as it sounds. Look at the fucking state we're in. But yeah, and our leader, glorious fucker Comrade Starmer, wants to take us back into the EU. Is he fucking blind? Unbelievable. But I mean, Albanese, Australia, I mean, this happens, and the first thing he comes up with, we must tighten up on gun control. Now, that's only pushed the point because the guns that the father and son used, were legally held by the father. Which surprises me because Australia tightened up their laws on weapons and guns in particular a few years ago, same as we did. Yet in 2023, the father was able to get a gun permit. And believe it or not, with his son actually on the police watch list. Yeah, I have heard that, Jen. There was somebody that reckoned they'd seen a whole cellar of one of the hotels filled with guns. I don't believe that for a minute. They probably will have a few weapons stashed, but not to the extent that they were saying. But they don't need them. They do enough fucking damage with what they've got already, don't they? But no, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here because people in interviews and that and videos I've seen over the past couple of days, to be honest, said they wished that both the shooters had been shot dead. Now, I'm thinking that I would have rather the other one had survived along with his son. I'll explain my reasoning. Now, they knew, or they must have known, how that little mission of theirs was going to end. If they kept shooting, the police would keep shooting. And there's only one way that would end up. But had that happened, they would be martyred, wouldn't they? They were heroes. They'd be heroes. You know? That's how they honour them. And they've been off, you know, to be presented with their 72 virgins or whatever it is, you know, maybe a golden reach round from Allah. But now at least one of them, yes, he's a murderer. He killed people. But that person will rot in prison, knowing he failed in his ultimate goal, his ultimate mission of martyrdom. And he will lay there for years knowing that. And it will fester within him. But I personally think it's more likely another carnal take him out. They'll off him, to be honest with you. But, but you know, the victims in all this, well, their blood is on governments around the world for letting this sort of thing happen. I mean, if you think about it, you don't see white Christians driving cars through foot parks full of fucking kneeling Muslims, do you? Where they're praying. You don't see them running them over in the streets when they're blocking the streets up and holding the traffic while they're fucking praying. No, we don't see any of that. But, yeah. But there's if all the virgins were men. Highly unlikely, Jen. That's why they like the reach round, isn't it? Yeah. They can't get that.
Virgin goats.
Yeah, well, they can't get that with a goat because the goat can't reach round. And I'm not going to sit here and explain what the proper meaning of reach round is, but there you go. Yeah, it seems strange, Moo. You know, there's these, but I mean, things are coming out now, whether they're right or what. You know, I can't corroborate them. And they went for military training in Thailand and stuff like that. But just knowing what I know about guns, I could already see straight away that nothing there was military grade. There was 2 shotguns, both with extended magazines. And the other one I saw looked like a bolt-action hunting rifle with a magazine in the bottom. So God knows what carnage they'd have caused if they had military-grade weapons with them. Plus, you got the explosives that were found in the car. There's some IEDs. You know, was that where they were originally going to head? That was where they were going to gain their martyrdom. Yeah, we know there's sleeper cells. We've got them in this country. We know that. And they've openly promoted that they're going to cause mayhem this Christmas. But it seems the police are getting ready for them, you know. No, there ain't no virgin goats out there, Jen. They like them young with 4 legs as well, apparently. Easier to hold on to, I suppose. As I said earlier on, some of these mainstream stories and headline stories, especially the warmongering kids. Yeah, exactly, Moo. Pun intended, I presume. They're just overshadowing a lot of else is what is going on. The Lord's rejected the assisted dying bill again. Well, it seems that Labour's answer to that is let's flood the Lords with Labour peers. Peership is being given away as a bribe now by Starmer. Is it because he wants control? Well, I've heard people say that he wants to do away with them. The House of Lords, which would give him ultimate control without having to go through the House of Lords even. Especially if he gets his ultimate goal, which is do away with the monarchy. We know he'd love to do that. But it's the other stuff they're trying to push through is surprising. You got the employment bill. Well, or the employment rights bill or whatever it's called. No, that's going to cause a lot of issues. And it's going to cause more issues for employers than employees, I think. Because some of the stuff in there is absolutely ridiculous. I haven't read it all, but I've only had a look at snippets. But the big one now, I can't corroborate this because I've seen the report on a platform called Verity, with a link leading to the rest of the story. It's an unknown quantity to me. I don't know who they are. And me being me, I'm a bit reluctant to click on links nowadays. They are trying to control the internet to get. Yes, they are, Moo. They are. This is what all the who are with X is about. But this report from Verity seems legit. That is absolutely ridiculous. And it concerns the Islamophobia laws that they were trying to push. Well, we all know the draft was drawn up to increase censorship. Call a spade, whatever, and you'll go to prison for it. Same as anybody speaking out against Islam. But they couldn't agree, as we know, on the definition of Islamophobia. So their way around it isn't change a lot that's in it, but change the name of it. If this report is right, it will now be called the Anti-Muslim Hostility Law or Act. And its main things are described as, and I'm reading it from what my notes here, engaging or encouraging criminal acts, including acts of violence, vandalism of property, and harassment or intimidation. I'm sorry, but don't we already have laws that cover that? most acts of violence are criminal. Damaging property, most of that could be classed as criminal. Harassment or intimidation, well, they've been using that law for some time, particularly against YouTubers and bloggers and stuff like that. They're all criminal acts. So why do we need new laws to cover those? You know, the laws are there. It doesn't matter what your colour, your race, or your fucking religion. What they're saying is already illegal. Religionophobia. I think we're all getting the fatigue on that now. But so why do we need new ones? Well, it's obviously to protect certain groups by including that word, Islam. But, you know, we don't see white people with machetes chasing Muslims down the road. You know, as I said, we don't see white people driving into their crowds of praying and what have you. You know, they constantly have played one side off against each other, but only protect the one side. We're seeing it. We've seen it for a long, long time. But yeah, that's another one I saw. You know, if anybody can verify that, because like I say, I don't click on those type of links. It's you never know what you're going to fucking end up with, do you? Oh, got an itch. Yeah, but this is the problem, though. What can you do to sort it out? Now, we know the top party in the running at the moment. If there was an election, I'm almost sure. I haven't heard from her, Jen. She might be moving into the, what is it, the old Airbnb thing that they've got her for Christmas. But yeah, I mean, you know, Reform way ahead in the polls, and you would think that if there was an election tomorrow, Reform would walk away with it, even with interference from everybody else. And I think they would. But you never know, you know, what's going to happen until somebody gets in. You know, everybody can talk. Oh, we do this, we do that, we do the other. You know, Reform are saying the right stuff. But I think that, well, we know. I can't say I think, I know, and everybody else does. The root cause of all the problems in this country at the moment is Labour. This merging of the police forces in this country. He wants us at war. Is this also he can sort of cancel the next general election if we're at war or on a war footing, and the police all banding together, especially when the people kick up about it. I mean, there's even talk of conscription, but I don't think that'll ever happen, because I don't think the war will happen. We will not go to war with Russia. Starmer might think we are, or will, but we won't. But yeah. Oh, she's still in hotel, is she, Moo?
Yeah, I think that's what she said last week. Because she was saying she'll move. She's got to get all the shopping in, and she doesn't get the keys till next week.
Yeah.
So she's only got a day or two before Christmas because she hasn't got a fridge where she is.
Well, you think about it, Jen, there's a lot in there he's made plans for up to 10 years in the future. But I don't think they will. I don't think they will. He is a delusional prick, absolutely, 100%. You know, he believes his own lies. But, you know, a lot of the lies, as I said, you got to have a good memory, and they're falling apart now because they can't remember what they said half the time last year. You know, I mean, you think about the foundations of building the country speech, whatever it was, from the garden. You know, we will be the most open and open party with integrity. Now, all we've seen from the minute they signed that paper when they took over is lies. Everything he said was a lie, and it has been ever since. Today, oh, the economy shrunk a little bit. That'll mean cheaper prices in the shops. No, it won't. Well, it fuck. You might get a few special offers, but the cost of living is going to stay where it is. It won't come down. It will go up. But as I say for a long time now, it's a matter of joining them dots. And you start to see the big picture of things. And I think he realises that the only way that eventually he's going to be able to keep power is cancel the elections, turn us into a total dictator state, and he will have the bully boys on every street corner checking the digital ID that they forced us to have. And if you haven't got Z papers, that's it, boom. And that will be closely followed by the Chinese credit scoring system, no doubt. But he would love to call martial law to keep everybody locked down. If you got the job that we told you got to have, you can go to that, that's it. And you got to go there and straight home. You get maybe an hour for shopping, where you'll only be allowed to buy what they tell you can buy. But I mean, he's openly shown his disdain for the British people. Yeah, exactly, Moo. And he'll call martial law. Oh no, it's gone too far now. Too many protests and riots. We're calling martial law. And you can't really call martial law without some sort of ID system because you know, so many false licenses and shit out there. But his actual disdain for the British people. I mean, look what he said about the farmers. For those that don't know, he was up in front of the select committee. Was it yesterday? Absolute load of bullshit and packs of lies he was coming out with. But one really stood out. When he was asked if he knew that there were farmers that were planning to commit suicide before he introduces the farmer inheritance tax bill next April. And the evil little bastard sat there and said, yes, I know about it. And then in the next breath said, but we're still going to carry on and plough on with it. Knowing that that's going to kill people, knowing that they're going to lose their livelihood and their property through it, or their kids will. That's the disdain he holds for the British people. And then he's got the audacity to turn around and say, would you fight for your country? We fight for our country, but we won't fight for you, you fuck. Not a chance. Yeah, it is, Jen. None of it he's doing now. I mean, personally, I think he's lost the plot. He's mentally unbalanced. Because nothing he's doing makes sense. Nothing he's doing is good for the country. I mean, I'd more or less given up watching Question Times now because, pardon me, we know it's a pantomime. Just hurling abuse at each other.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Oh, yes, it is. And today was no different. It was just more Christmassy themed. You know, and what was it? She asked him, he was asked, is he going to ban the doctors' strike to save the NHS? And he said no. And Kimmy Badenoch just said, of course he wasn't. He hasn't got the baubles to do it. You know, it's a mockery. What they talk about a debate like that in it, it's an absolute mockery of the way this country's run. There are ways around it, Moo. I don't understand a lot of it.
The point is, you shouldn't have to.
No, I don't believe there should be any inheritance tax whatsoever. Because if someone wants to pass a farm or a house or money onto their kids or relatives after they die, they shouldn't be penalised for saving all their life to buy that or save that money. They shouldn't be fucking taxed on it. You know, it used to be the thing, save the money up or buy a property so you can pass it on to your kids. And they're making that financially unviable. You know, you're basically being taxed for fucking dying, for crying out loud. Yeah, it was, Jen. It was, and he was just so stone-faced when he said about it. You know, I mean, it was like today when he was asked or did his little speech about what happened in Bondi in Australia. So, you know, he stood there and said, oh, how sorry he was. This shouldn't have happened. This is not right. And then he fucking launches into how he's supporting fucking Israel against Gaza, for fuck's sake, and supporting the Gazans. Sorry. I mean, like, for fuck's sake, you idiot. We've got the police now saying they're cracking down, especially over Christmas and protests, on people waving offensive placards, shouting offensive slogans. Yeah, right. Well, there's only one mob that do that when they're on the streets, aren't they? Let's see how far they're prepared to go with it. No, we shouldn't be taxed on things more than once, Moo. You know, a sales tax, a VAT, whatever, fine. That's revenue for the country on sales. But once that thing is yours, you should never pay tax on it again.
But you get taxed every time you pass something on. A second-hand car has VAT on it.
We are, Jen. We're taxed to death. I presume that's a typo. We're absolutely taxed to death in this country. You know, but there's many countries that are income tax free. Go figure.
That's because they keep getting a load of money off her.
Yeah. But, I mean, every time Starmer opens his mouth, I quite honestly, I think I'm starting to tune him out because it's just ridiculous. I mean, we got the police having their Christmas purge at the moment, which happens every year and has done for many years on drink driving. They're usually a little bit leaner on the shenanigans in public while drinking, shall I say, the festivities. But this year they seem to be going to that next level. You know, stopping people on the streets, knife arches. I do agree with the drink driving, the stopping of that and spot checks on that. Absolutely. I've been against drink driving for many, many years. Admittedly, having done it myself in years, and I paid for that. But taking cars off the road for any little infraction, yeah, the uninsured drivers and what have you. I mean, but taking a car off the road because it's untaxed. Well, we used to have tax discs to remind you when it was due. Yes, there's always been road tax fraud going on for years. There always will be in some form or other. But they never used to take the cars off you. You used to get fined. You'd have to pay the back tax. And you'd have to get it taxed within a certain amount of days and go and show them that you've taxed it.
A week, wasn't it? Producer?
Yeah, I think it was 7 days on a producer. But now, oh no, tax is out. Even it's by a fucking day. It's on the transporter gone. You got to pay release fees and still pay the tax on it and everything else. Again, you know, the police are getting more and more powers. Still heading towards that totalitarian state that they want. Everybody controlled by fear. Yeah, think about it, Jen. You even get taxed on the air you breathe. That used to be a joke. They'll tax us on the air we breathe. What do you think the green agenda and net zero is? All the taxes on that. That's literally a tax on the air that you breathe. Labour. Yeah, only at a distance though, Moo. Only at a distance. So, yeah.
You used to be able to get away with a sign in the window, tax in the post.
Tax in the post, yeah. Well, a mate of mine used to work a good one. He only used to tax his little escort for 6 months of the year. And his reason being that he's half as likely to get caught driving without tax if he just leaves the old one in there. And as he said, as he did get caught, being it's under 6 months out of date, he said 9 times out of 10, all they do is tell you to put, pay the back tax and get it sorted. He said, so if I get away with it for 6 months, he said, and I get caught maybe once every 3 years, he said, I'm quids in. But you used to get away with that back then, you know. Yeah, there was many ways round it. You know, you knew the little scrote that would print them off and put different dates on them. Or
yeah, that was the thing, having a colour printer.
Yeah, and it was nearly impossible to scratch the registration number off and put another one on somebody else's disc. But again, it was all done visually. It wasn't done by computer. You know, most things now are going AI. Now, again, this is a report I've seen. Where did I see the video? I think it was on YouTube.
Good evening, Paulette.
Good evening,
No,
Paulette. About the AI censorship on Facebook. Now, I don't know whether this is true, but it wouldn't surprise me. Apparently, it's been exposed that the censorship algorithm, the AI version on Facebook, has been biased in who and what it picks up in the way of hate speech and shit, memes and stuff. And it turns out it's biased against white people. Because this, good evening, Karen. Whoever this bod was that did the video said they've checked out the numbers and investigated it. And 90% of hate speech, that sort of thing on there, is aimed at white people. But the algorithm will only pick up when it's aimed at minorities, foreign religions. When it's directed at white Christians, it doesn't pick it up. And they reckon that is 90% of the hate speech and shit on Facebook.
Especially against white males.
Especially against white males, yeah. Yeah. They can't unless they make it mandatory, Moo. As the law states, I think it's the law, or it was said that because it's not mandatory, by law, they have to leave other avenues of ID open to the public. You know, they'll try and force it, you know, and I would say any business or anything like that, or any shop that insists you show digital ID, I would shop elsewhere, because it'll end up the amount of people that are rejecting it, including the Commons, apparently. Labour's own people have rejected it. Same as cash only. I think we'll start seeing signs, ID free purchases here and shit like that. Up yours who can wash your old MOT certificate and fat roll to remove. Let it dry, re-rate the old days. Yeah. Whoever you are, welcome. Yeah, there used to be lots of ways around it. I mean, back in the day, we had an old Austin Gypsy that I used to run on red diesel, which was illegal because I only ever used it on the road. And we used to have a 5-gallon plastic can in the back with red diesel in, pipe in it. But we always kept a couple of gallon of white diesel in the original tank. So if they dipped it, yep, fine. Yeah, there was lots of ways around things back then. Yeah, you know, there's plenty of forms of digital ID. Your passport, if you've got a new one now, is digital. They're bringing out digital driving licenses. Cat litter removed the red dye. I've never heard of that one. I know plenty of people that ruined them by trying to scratch it off. Oh, it is a thing. The doctor's strike. Now, I had a brilliant idea on this. And realistically, it shouldn't cost the taxpayer a penny, to be honest. Now, the doctors are striking for a pay rise. Okay. give them their pay rise. But the money you use to give them that pay rise is the money you will save by dropping management's wages down to the same level as the doctors, make the management work the same hours as the doctors, and you might even have some left over, because that's where the money goes. You know, the managers don't save lives. Far from it. They probably cost people lives. Nurses and the doctors, they're the ones that do the life saving, not the shinies, the ones sat on their ass polishing their trouser butts all the time. Balance itself out, wouldn't it? Fuck all the DEI hiring off. That would save them an absolute fortune. Simple solution. Yeah. Let them work for the same money and do the same hours. Yeah, I said you've been back home, Karen. I don't always react to all the posts on Facebook, but I've seen that you've been over there and what's happened. I was sorry about that, but yeah. It's I've been missing on YouTube for a couple of weeks now. It's getting a bit much going through all this shit all the time and sitting here feeling helpless. So I've taken a little step back for a little while, especially over Christmas over it. But yeah. But anyway, what is everybody else up to then? Are you all ready for next week? We haven't even got the decorations up yet. But I have got the boxes down out the loft. I've got the tree back there has got the traditional 101 bands of packing tape and gaffer tape and stuff holding the box together. But yeah, Karen, that's one thing I do like about the Irish. I mean, it's the wrong way to put it, but is the fact that when they lose somebody, 3 days usually, they're in the ground, and then they do actually celebrate their life. I mean, fuck me, I've seen Irish funerals where fights have happened and clans have made up and and all sorts of shit. But yeah, it's a totally different way of doing things over there. I mean, I found that out when I had to rush over there to my Uncle Pat's funeral. Oh, what's the big rush? Well, they're planting him in a day and a half, Yeah, trouble is with ours, Karen. I mean, the tree is not a fold-out one. You got to put all the individual fucking branches in. It's quite an expensive one, and it knackers me out doing it now. I mean, I had to have a rest getting the boxes down out the loft. I carried a basket of laundry up the stairs just now. And I ended up on my puffer because I was just out of breath, couldn't breathe. I don't do Xmas shopping, Jem.
No, I do.
There's my personal shopper.
I even have to buy my own good present.
I just say, what do you want for Christmas? She tells me. I said, well, there you go. Go and get it then. Bring it home and I'll wrap it for you. and I'm dead easy. I don't give a shit what I get.
That's all right, because you're getting fuck all.
Well, exactly, and that's what I expect. It's
Normally you get a Christmas jumper. All your jumpers are okay because you don't wear them.
Yeah. Even my slippers aren't worn out this year because I haven't been wearing them outside.
And because we had to buy them halfway through the year.
Yeah. But when I do decide to get myself something for Christmas for myself, it's usually after Christmas when the sales happen anyway. So. And there's nothing I need.
Apart from a new rod.
No, I don't even need that yet. And I've started my husband. It's the same. Yeah.
I think most men are.
But, the attitudes to Christmas, especially the kids, has changed. I mean, you were grateful for whatever you had got back in the day. And now they just seem to pick the most expensive things that are out there. Although, none of it is stuff that they actually need. It's stuff they want so they can keep up with their mates, I mean, who the hell goes out and pays God knows how many £100 for a pair of trainers that they're going to grow out of in 3 months,
Yeah, but you've got to look, when we were teenagers, it was the Adidas trainers with the 3 stripes on.
Yeah.
And you had to have them.
I never did.
No, nor did I. But that was sort of the start of it.
Good evening, loafer.
But it wasn't around before our generation because of the war.
Yeah.
It just wasn't there.
Can you imagine in the 70s? I mean, I know you weren't about then, but asking your parents for a £2,000 fucking iPhone for Christmas.
No, but I wanted a keyboard and I wasn't aware of how much they cost. And I wasn't told, no, they're too much. I was given this crappy thing that didn't work.
Yeah, that's the attitudes have changed. It's more commercial. And of course, you got the thing where everybody buys too much food and hoards food. At the end of the day, it's only a few days holiday,
£1
note in an Xmas card. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had your nan, the drug dealer, passing you a £5 when you went down to wish her Merry Christmas, wasn't it? She'd always have the £5 note tucked in the palm of the hand like a drug dealer. So your mum and dad didn't see her giving it you. I mean, my uncle, loving one of my uncles, he religiously gave his brothers and sisters, my aunties and uncles, religiously gave them a Christmas present for years. He ended up with dementia, sadly, and it did kill him. But I particularly remember one year he was giving 50-year-olds little pound plastic watches, digital watches, loving me, But yeah, attitudes to Christmas has changed. I've always said it's for the kids. As far as I'm concerned, most adults use it as an excuse just to get pissed. And I've seen it many times. Yeah, exactly, Karen. Exactly. Now, Heather's going over to her daughter's Christmas Day. They've got like 13 people for dinner. They've got friends round as well. Normally we have it here, but we can't facilitate that many people, and it would kill Heather trying to cook and organise everything for that amount anyway. But and I said I wouldn't stay the day. She'll stay the day there and probably into the evening as well. But I said, I'll stay for a little while. Let the kids open their presents and that. But I'm not going to hang around simply because there'd be too much going on for me to handle. I'd be uncomfortable. I'd get restless, and I'd get niggly. So I just said, right, I'll stay there for a couple of hours, and then I'll just disappear, and I'll come home and probably rest, and I'll need a rest after it anyway. But that's what I'm intending to do. I don't want to sit there and be fucking miserable and ruin it for everybody else. Let them get on and celebrate. I don't drink, so the naughty elf has been caught in a compromising position with Barbie. Ah, okay. So Ella isn't the only one that's getting a reach around then. Yeah, well, maybe mine used to think it was another £1 note, Janet. It was actually a £5, She was getting on. One of the cheapest ones that I used to do with a lot of family, I used to just buy them a lottery card for the Christmas lottery. They were only £1 at the time. You put them in a card. If they win, they win. I was only ever told that one I sent out had won, and sadly it was to my bitch of a sister that she'd won 500 quid. Oh, you had a win last night, didn't you?
Apparently.
Yeah, £8 something.
Having spent £5 on the ticket.
Yeah, 2 numbers on one line and 2 numbers with a bonus thing, a star, whatever on the other.
It ended up as something like £2.20 profit.
Yeah.
I'm not calling that a win.
It's not the amount, it's the winning that counts.
Oh, sod off.
Don't forget, second place is the first loser.
Yeah. when there's a couple that have won, not only won the Euro, but have now won the Lotto.
Yeah, there was a couple actually won the Lotto twice, wasn't there? Not the 2 of them. They actually won the Lotto twice, and only a few weeks apart, if I remember rightly.
No, the way they were talking about these guys, it was the first time anybody won.
Because I remember him interviewing the husband, and he said at the time that he was asked what is he going to do with his second winnings. He said, I don't know. He said, we haven't even decided what we're doing with the first one yet. I think the first one was only it was back when they were £1 a ticket. I think the first one was something like about 2.5 million, 3 million. And the second one was about 5. We don't know, Karen. She hasn't popped in tonight. But I know she was trying to sort out where they are going to be over Christmas.
I've got a feeling she's probably trying to get everything packed and organised for next week. Because she doesn't get very good Wi-Fi at the B&B, does she?
Oh, pardon me.
So they have to go out to get a signal.
Loafer found a 10-inch rubber dildo. Yes, I will be on next Wednesday, Jen, being as it's Christmas Eve, but I'm only planning to be on for half an hour or so. No news, no bringing the show down with all the bad shit that's going on around us, because it will still be going on. But I'm going to leave all that behind for half an hour and just have it open. Have it open for people that want to come and wish each other Merry Christmas and what have you. My bloody nose is running now. I bet I got the flu. I won't need an excuse to stay in bed Christmas Day. I'm dying. But yeah, I get the flu once a year usually. I always did, especially when you were working outside and especially around the hospital. But I've never ended up in hospital because of it. Yeah, I just thought it'd be make a change. It's always doom and gloom for the first hour in here to start with, usually. Once I've gone through the stories, and even more so at the moment, because of a lot of the stories I'm not putting out in video. I was thinking about doing another alternative Christmas message. That's going to be interesting this year, isn't it? Old Charlie boy, old chubby fingers. What load of bollocks is he going to come out with? Considering it's a Christian celebration. Well, as Mrs. W rightly points out, and it's also the Jewish celebration, just because they call it different by a different name. I'd never looked into the Jewish faith, but I believe it's based on Christianity. So,
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. For those of you out there that those words mean more than Merry Christmas.
No, it means Happy Hanukkah, not Merry Christmas.
He'll probably open up by saying Salim al-Akwam. Well, he could, but it wouldn't make any difference to me, Loafer, because I ain't got a fucking clue what that is.
It won't make any difference to me because I won't be bloody watching it.
Boom. But no, it's seriously, this dominance of this shit in this country, it's got to stop. And if it's not stopped soon, it never will get stopped, unfortunately. Especially with the government backing it all. But while you're out doing your Christmas shopping and that, people, especially if you're attending one of the many Christmas markets around the country, just be a bit cautious, a bit aware. Be aware of what's going on around you. You know, don't make phone calls stood out in the middle of nowhere with your phone waving about. Shit like that.
Put it in a little handbag and attach
Yeah,
it
put
to
it in
the
a
wrist.
little handbag. Oh, fucking hell. How much were them pouches?
200 quid.
You fuck that. A little handbag for your phone, 200 quid.
Oh, but it was an eye handbag.
Oh, yeah, it had an eye on it. Eye. You know, and if you do see any situations, try and walk away from it, basically.
Because if you pick up a gun and point it at somebody, you might get shot.
I probably won't watch the whole thing, Paulette. I will probably be asleep at that time on Christmas Day. I usually am anyway. As soon as I've had my dinner, that's it. It's like crash. Even with a few we have here, it does get a bit hectic for me. But obviously it's going to be all over the internet.
Oh, Christmas Day isn't. I'm not putting the camera on.
Oh, you can do what you want.
Oh, you mean Charlie's speech will be all over the internet?
Okay. I can do the most boring Christmas video ever. I just put the camera on me snoring. Oh, did you see them, Karen? They were a little fucking pouch that your phone just fitted in, and it's got a strap that you can put round your neck or over your shoulder.
It's more like a strap attached to a sock.
Yeah.
You put your phone in the sock and the strap around your wrist.
It looked like a jock strap with the sides sewn up.
I'll put 200 quid.
200 quid. I'm like, what the fuck? How are people so gullible? You know? Fucking ridiculous. I mean, if anybody tried to steal one of mine, you let them have it, they'd probably bring it back because they feel sorry for me. They're that old.
Yeah, mate, you need it more than I do.
Let's see if I can.
See if you can what? What are you looking for? The handbag?
Yeah.
Did he?
Oh, it's coming up with all sorts of shit there, but let's have a look in images. There we go. Oh, there's one there. iPhone Pocket made by Izzy. £14.
By Izzy Miyake?
Where it says
Izzy Miyake?
iPhone Pocket by Izzy Moyaka, whatever.
Yeah, there's one here that where they've knitted it.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be extra for crochet, I expect. Bring back the sporran. Yeah, what you do is you cut a hole in the back of them, Moo. Put your tackle in there. That gives them a surprise when they put their hand in there.
Well,
there's not many pictures of them at all, to be honest. Not a half decent one.
No, that's 220. They are based in Miyake.
Oh, there we go.
Short strap or long strap? Long strap is 220 quid.
How can I fucking make that big?
Stroke it.
Oh no, you got to fucking go for all the cookies bollocks.
It's a sock.
There you go. Let's see if I can. Oh no, didn't want to go there. No. Oh. There you go. Apple unveils £220 iPhone Pocket. It looks like a sock that's just had a slit cut in it. Have you ever seen anything so ridiculous? 220 fucking quid for that.
That's the one with the long strap. It's only 140. If you want the short strap.
Oh, hello. What's going on here? Still trying to share my fucking Facebook page there. But yeah, that is released just before Christmas, for fuck's sake. What's going on here? Why hasn't that one gone away?
Sort of present to buy for Dan, the man who has everything.
Yeah.
And an iPhone.
Now what's... Oh, that's right. It's all right, I was getting confused. There's another little picture up in the corner. And for some reason it hadn't cancelled that one. It put it in the back room, even though I'd cancelled it over here. Put them in a condom, waterproof. Yeah, but they end up all slimy with that spermicide shit inside them, don't they? That's the bit they forget to tell you about using them to hold water in a survival situation. Make sure you wash them out first. But, you know, you always get the, what was it, the advertising thing that used to come up before Christmas with all the little bloody hand sewing machines and the button riveter.
Button ear.
Button ear, that was it. Shit like that.
God.
There used to be a company that used to
Oh, hang on. Oh, give me.
sold at all best outlets, Woolworths.
But yeah.
I'm getting comfortable.
JML.
Fuck it. JML, that's it. We still get a catalogue through the door with all this shit on.
The JML portable magic stitch handheld sewing machine is in the sale at August. It's now only a £5. The button there, second hand on eBay, you can get for a £10.
Thank you. Thought they only the washed ones for reuse. No, you just turn them inside out, Moo. Yeah, there's many a survival pack. People couldn't understand why they used to have a condom in them. That's third use then. Oh, I'm usually asleep by then, mate. Bloody things like washing your feet with your socks on, isn't it? I was trying to get comfortable then. My back's playing up again, and I wasn't even comfortable laid on there. We'll keep going for a bit. So is anybody doing anything unusual for... Oh, that's going to open it up right up, isn't it? Anybody doing anything unusual for Christmas? I don't want this replies that we get on Dan's channel, please. I fell asleep just unwrapping them. I haven't wrapped anything at the moment. That usually comes once I get the tree up. I get into a bit more of the Christmas spirit.
I got into the Christmas spirit earlier. I opened the wrong bottle. I've got to buy some more for Josh now.
You've been into the Christmas spirit since the sales after last Christmas.
No, I went to get myself a drink. That's why it took so long, because I opened the wrong bottle. I opened Josh's.
Moo's thinking of a nude Christmas.
Nude Christmas? I take it you're on your own then again. Or are you thinking of sharing your nudity with others?
No.
What?
Get arrested for that.
Not necessarily. You and I could do a nude Christmas as long as we didn't go round to Donna's.
Well, it isn't actually illegal to be nude in public.
No. And it's definitely not illegal to be nude in your own home. You
Nope.
could be standing in the window. Just go and walking. Yep, you're fine. You're fine, though. It's legal. Cold.
I'll be lucky to get my leg over. What's that, through the amount of booze? Or I think the way a lot of people celebrate Christmas, they'd be too knackered to get their leg over afterwards. Start the day with it. At least then, if you've forgotten the present or she don't like what you've got her, you can always say, well, it's as good as the one you got earlier, you know. Anything. No, as I said last week, I spent quite a few Christmases on my own, done everything from fishing, walking the coastal paths. Can I have a sober Xmas? Oh, that's personal choice, Moo.
That's in your hands.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a right laugh if you put fucking greenery in the Santa's cookies and watch him trying to get back up that fucking chimney. Good evening, Tony. Yeah, put cookies in Santa, put green in Santa's cookies. Sit back and watch the fun. I'm the sort of arsehole that would light a fire just to make the kids cry, you know. Where Heather hasn't decided whether I've been a good boy or a bad boy yet, Moo. I think that'll depend on the present I give her Christmas morning.
Better be a cup of coffee with whiskey in it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you ain't got to drive either, have you? You're getting a taxi home. No, I'd prefer if anybody was getting me anything to get me something I need rather than something I want. I've always been like that. Quite often used to ask for tools. I mean, one year she bought me a Hoover.
Wasn't cheap either.
No, it wasn't a cheap Hoover. It was a good one. Yeah. Oh, it's always nice, Moo.
What was the chocolate that was naughty but nice?
Chocolate that was naughty but nice. Wasn't Cadbury's caramel, was it? You're looking that up now, aren't you? I can hear you clicking on the keyboard behind me.
Yeah, well, yes, darling. Turn around. You can't hear me clicking on the keyboard.
Oh. Well, the mouse then.
No, I thought there was. Oh no, it was fresh cream cake.
What, on Christmas morning in bed?
No, there was an advert.
Oh,
and
naughty
I thought
but
it was
nice.
for chocolate, but it was fresh cream cake. Naughty,
but nice.
And the actual advert was Les Dawson and his mate dressed up as the two old women.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'll go. Oh, Father Jack, fuck off, bum tits ass. Yeah, Father Jack always had a language all of his own in that series, didn't he? You want to hear some of the things I come out with when I hit my thumb with a hammer or... I can't understand these people that on Christmas morning, the first thing they want to do is go and jump in an ice cold lake or an ice cold river or run down the beach and jump in the sea. I can't understand that.
Well, it's a bit of a long way to run from here.
Well, I suppose you could go and jump in the brook. You'd be at least up to your ankles. Well, I haven't had a look. It might be well up and flooded with the rain we've been getting.
Yeah, up to your knees.
It was up to the top of the brickwork.
Yeah, really.
One time when I looked down there, that's a good 3 foot rise.
Not very often it gets to that level.
Well, they do maintain it quite well. The trouble is we're on a level below Sutton Park, which has got several large lakes in it. And the brook that comes across the road down here is actually the overspill, the overrun off of it. And so if the lakes fill up, it all comes dumped down there, and it's about 6 foot wide and 3 foot deep. And it doesn't take long to fill it up. And it can be quite dangerous along there as well for kids because it's very fast moving. You wouldn't be able to stand up in it, and there's no fences. between the path and the brook.
Me and my mates never died in it.
Well, it was only a few years ago when we were walking down there regular. I found out that it's got wild brown trout in it. They were only small ones that we saw. They were only about 6 to 8 inches long.
It was only 50 odd years ago. We were down there paddling. It was fine.
Yeah.
Fishing for sticklebacks.
Oh, I've seen the old heron down there picking up bullheads, and there's obviously a load of minnows and sticklebacks in there. But it was the last thing I expected to see was the wild brownies. It's making me thinking whether there's some up in the lakes.
Yes.
Because there's carp in some of them. People do fish up there.
Yeah, Mario used to.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he still does.
Although,
regularly go up there.
Realistically, if we fish fresh water, we'd have to get a license, and the only thing that we've got that is usable is some cheap carp rods that I was using for spinning for bass. But yeah, it makes sense if they're up there. Yeah, they would filter down the stream. I mean, where we go on holiday and where we fish, I didn't realise until today, that they used to get the salmon and sea trout coming up the estuary, because they used to put out all the big nets on stakes and stuff, and you can still see some of the remnants there. And it was very interesting how they said it all died off, and you'd be very, very rarely see one nowadays, even up the rivers that the estuary leads to. No, that would have been a nice bycatch, huh? Moo. It's not very nice. Poor old Karen's had a lot on her plate recently. And she's not the only one. She's not the only one. But yeah, I mean, going back to something that I saw earlier, people are now saying a similar sort of thing to what I said a few years back, that all these speed restrictions on the motorways and the like are literally just there to slow people down. Nothing to do with roadworks, nothing to do with congestion. But I won't go into that, being as we've stepped away from the news and shit now.
And the miserable and the mundane.
And the miserable and the scaremongering. But I mean, it was obvious they weren't going to let us have a peaceful Christmas. Far from it. I just can't believe that they're still in fucking power with what they've done. So, yeah, over Christmas, I mean, as I say, I've taken a step back from diving too deeply into it, and I think everybody should do the same over Christmas. Just don't go and look at it. Yeah, they've reversed all the speeding things down there, and nobody seems to know what's going on. I mean, they're doing a lot of it up here as well now. I mean, Oxford is a prime one. They've totally fucked up their road system. Now their new ULEZ has gone live, and they're realising now that people are using the back roads and the rat runs to get round it all, and parking in roads that they don't normally park in. and they just totally ballsed it up. Apparently, the town centre car park, the day it went live, doubled the price of parking. But they're doing it everywhere. It is literally a war on the motorists. And it's going to get worse for a lot of us simply because EVs are falling out of favour. People are realising they're a waste of space, a waste of time. They don't hold their value. Many manufacturers have stopped producing certain ones. And the fact that the EU has cancelled the net zero on EVs and diesel and petrol, stopped selling diesel and petrol by 2040. They haven't just put the date back. I think they've scrapped it, apparently. Yeah, they got operations going on all over the place, Karen. You know, it's not just the Christmas purge, that they are just actively seeking out cars to take off the road. Yeah, run on water, Moo. Well, it'll be a bartering tool as well, won't it? You know, I'll give you 2 camels and a horse and a jar of coffee for your wife, like, you know. Yeah, donkey.
How to?
Eh?
How to?
You are.
Donkey, how to?
Yeah, but how do you know it wasn't an ass? I mean,
because you said donkey.
Well, so did Karen.
Yes, and I said how. Oh, God, I'll be twat.
I'm going to, after Christmas, I'm going to record some of the conversations we have here when it's just the two of us. It's absolutely hilarious. Tried a drug mule once, but she was an ass. Maybe you're sucking on the wrong end of it then, Moo. Yeah, but can you imagine turning up to a hotel with your missus pregnant on a donkey and being turned away because it's full of fucking immigrants?
Well, it was.
Reminder, cardboard bin night tonight. Something happened with cardboard boxes. Should have invested in cardboard. We haven't had recycling, cardboard cans or glass taken away since the strike started. Well, before the strike started. We just have the one bin taken away and everything goes in it. Fuck them. If they ain't picking up the recycling at the moment, which they're not, then everything goes in the other bin. And it's been that way for well over 6 months now.
And it's what we were advised to do.
Yep.
Because you can't leave it sitting.
I can guarantee there's going to be loads of boxes and cardboards put on the curb after Christmas. Loads of them. Because they usually put on the website any extras in the bags by the side of the bins, any cardboard tied up with string and put by your bin. Fuck me, I got a shed full of fucking cardboard out there, including the boxes from 3 televisions. 2 big ones packed with cardboard shavings and packing that 2 headlights came for the car in. They're going to get that fucking lot over Christmas. I invested in Amazon. Well, see, they're another one that exposed inadvertently a lot of government lies. You know, that their AI thing that they push is creating jobs. And then you got Amazon turning around saying they're going to replace 24,000 or 34,000 workers worldwide, including 14,000 in this country, because AI is going to take the jobs. Unemployment is up again, yet Labour is still saying, oh, we're bringing it down. No. Yeah, the only thing you'll find eventually on high streets, Loafer, is little niche outlets like designers exclusive to their own designs and fucking coffee shops. I mean, there's a load of coffee shops and eateries that fucking opened up around here. Unbelievable. But they're supposed to be regenerating the town centre here. I don't quite know how, but considering we've got 2 giant retail parks within 3 mile either direction, and one a bit further on from that as well. I mean, Poundland's even gone from the town.
There's no reason to go into town.
There's, I suppose Tesco's Extra, you can buy ciggies. That's the only outlet for ciggies I know in the town.
That's not in the town centre.
No, it's not in the town centre. It's up the road a bit. So you can't even buy a packet of smokes. You know?
No, because the tobacconist has gone.
Yeah,
the tobacconist
he's
in
gone.
the market.
No. The little backy man, he's gone. Yeah, and they raised all the prices in the supermarkets, and then you got that idiot Reeves telling us that the price of food is down. No. It's the same with everything. Once they can put the price up, they will never bring it down. So where do we go for our phones? We'll use Tesco's Extra, Moo. The little corner shop does them, but he's a little bit expensive, and he doesn't stock the ones that Heather smokes.
I'm sure he'd get them in if I asked, but I get them while I'm out, so it's not worth.
Yeah, Tony, the 15 minutes it is. I mean, what's his face? Dickhead Khan. He was at the big meeting of the C40 cities committee, which he's heading, which includes mayors from all around the world. You know, they seem to think that they're controlling everything, but I think he's going to learn a very, very hard lesson at the next mayoral election if they don't get removed and replaced. But yeah, he's going to learn a hard lesson with what people know about him now. But the 15-minute cities, Tony, as we know, they're just a ploy for control, basically. You know, you will work, eat, sleep in your zone. The only time you'll be able to leave it is when we give you permission, or you'll be fined very heavily for doing it without permission. It was just another form of control, which, you know, in a way, ULEZ was supposed to have helped with it, but people are now the Blade Runners and that, and they're pulling down all sorts of cameras. And with the expansion now of digital facial recognition and AI, the police are desperately trying to roll that out everywhere, and they've already said they want it everywhere, you know, including in little villages. You know, where's it going to end? I mean, at the moment, and a case has been fought in court in Birmingham, actually, over facial recognition, where they've got the vans in the cities, over the privacy, because the bloke wouldn't uncover his face in front of it. They searched him and arrested him because he wouldn't give details. And he went to court and he won his case against Birmingham Police, West Midlands Police. Because they always say, the law says, there is no expectation of privacy in public. You are expected to create your own privacy, which, putting a face covering on, pulling a cap down, is creating your own privacy. Yes, you can say that, the rioters cover their face, people like Antifa, the lefties, the violent ones. Well, that's simple. You put the section in place where they're not allowed to wear them, it protests and shit like that. Because there is actually no law, unless you're suspected of a crime, I presume, that says you can't cover your face.
In fact, they're now saying wear your masks again because of the flu.
Don't cover your face, but they're out there telling you to put masks on. Well, I suppose, Moo, they'd have to give the villages a little bit of leeway, wouldn't they? Because a lot of villages just don't have facilities.
Well, we're surrounded by Sainsbury's, Lidl, Aldi, Tesco's,
That's what I
and
said.
Asda. And they're all 20 minutes away.
That's what I said. Within 3 miles, we've got 2 giant retail
Yeah, but
parks.
they're all 20 minutes away. They're not 15 minutes away. Because you queue for 5 minutes to get into the car park.
And as you say, it's killing the high street. But the biggest danger is online shopping, of course. We know anything that's online is killing everything that we used to enjoy in the past, basically. I mean, it was great when it first started. You had freedom of speech and shit like that. But as always, people will abuse it. And then when you've got governments that want to do away with it for their own reasons, I've always said the World Wide Web is going to be its worst enemy, its own worst enemy. Yeah, my place is a trans Muslim, wear a burqa, call me Loretta. Yeah. What was the Enfield one? Peekaboo, wasn't it, Loafer? In the shop. Yeah, I remember that one. Oh, actually feeling. Pardon me. Good grief. That's what I get for drinking flat Coke, I suppose. Right, I am going to call it, guys. I mean, there's 20 people watching. Sorry about that. I'm feeling quite tired here now. I've been busy again. And in my conditions, it takes you twice as long to fucking do anything, twice as much effort. And you usually end up with twice as much pain afterwards as well. And I don't know whether these new pills are upsetting my stomach, but something's not quite right going on down there. But anyway, guys, next week, as I say, we're not going to have any notes. I'm not going to read any news unless there's anything desperate breaking, like, Starmer's throwing himself off Tower Bridge or,
Apparently.
or the whole of Labour have stepped down.
But it is only hearsay.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? It's going to be an interesting Christmas, but I'm not going to let it get me too down. But having said that, if you can't turn up or you've got other commitments next week, I'll say a Merry Christmas to you now, including the lurkers in the background there, good or bad. A Merry Christmas to you guys as well.
It's the
or happy
time-
Hanukkah if you're.
It's the time of year for love and goodwill.
Yeah, but I don't know any wills. So yeah, next week will just be happy, wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and such like. We'll just have a bit of a crack. So until then, guys, whether I will do any videos in the week, I don't know. At the moment, I'm not feeling it. But as always, at this time of night, that will be a good night from me.
And I'll say good night as well. Good night.
And no matter what you're doing, whether it's Christmas shopping, out with friends, please, as always, stay safe, stay strong, and stay free from what we know is probably coming. Respects, everybody.
Have a great week.